Did they want to get married again? Rearrangement.
Chan, go right ahead. Go right ahead, Chan.
All right, Georgia, I'm right here. I'm in. Yes.
Yeah, go right ahead, Chan. You're live right now. Could you give us an update as to what's happening right now around the market square? What's in your view right now?
Well, currently located at the bottom of Market Hill and in the capital city of St. George's. It's businesses, if not all of the businesses, would have been closed for the entire day. And there's actually virtually no public transportation working at this moment. And like I said, it's pretty much, if you want to call it, a ghost town as we speak. As I said, I'm at the bottom of Market Hill. So system, uh, it's still a bit overcast. We did have some showers and some moments of gusty winds at time early on in the morning time. But as it stands now, it is very still, no rain, just a bit overcast.
Chan, if you could just give us some idea as to what to be expected. We know that you're very close with NAGMA in organizing information, disseminating information.
Well, as it relates to the system, we were told that we were expecting, we are to expect the system to um, come across us by anywhere between 2 and 5 this afternoon. Anywhere between 2 and 5 p.m. this afternoon. We are currently
Chan, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you well.
We're having a bit of a connection problem. I don't know if you could hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Good.
Okay, Chan, if you could hear me, just go right ahead. Go right ahead. We understand that the gust has dropped. The storm has the in terms of the wind has dropped drastically. It's now up to 40 miles per hour. What are we hearing, and what information is being discussed on the ground as far as preparation for the storm?
Like I said, the wind has subsided. The gusts that we had, the short spell of gusts, we occasionally had some gusts early on, along with rain, but that has subsided quite a bit. And like I said, it's pretty much overcast at the moment. There's no rain, absolutely no rain. What is to be expected is to, as we were told, that we were expecting the system to cross our area somewhere around between 2 and 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Keep the information coming, Chan. Keep the information coming. We're working on a
Right.
bit of
So
a technical issues over on my end, but just keep talking and keep showing us most information. If you could flip your camera or show us to the back of you, so we could get an idea as to the vantage point and where you are.
All right. So this vantage point, as I said, I'm right at the bottom of Market Hill, and this is up. What you're looking at now is up Market Hill. If I can turn, eight to nine shelters on standby in the event that the system were going to affect us in any severe way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from that end, they were well prepared to have at least nationwide, including Carriacou and Petit Martinique, some 8 to 9 shelters activated. Only 8 to 9 shelters, and that came about as a result of the COVID situation that we have. They would have identified buildings that could accommodate COVID issues, and hence the reason why we had only 8 to 9 shelters ready to activate in the event that um, the system was going to affect us adversely. Yeah. What I can also mention, the location of the system as of the 11 a.m. The center was latitude 10.5, 60.5 longitude, or 65 miles east, southeast, southeast of Grenada. Uh, Maximum sustained wind was 40 miles per hour, and movement is the movement was at least 18 miles per hour. So as I
Right.
said, yeah,
John, with that speed of the storm, slow moving
yeah.
storm, when is it expected to reach or
Um,
pass over Grenada and the that region?
I wouldn't agree with your slow moving system. 18 miles per hour is pretty fast, huh? Um, and I think maybe because of the size of the system and the location of it, being that it is so far south, I think that probably would have aided in the speed of it. 18 miles per hour is pretty much quick for a system. And like I said earlier, it is expected to impact us. The brunt of the system, is expected, as we were told by the media, by the Met Office official, somewhere between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. this afternoon. That is the pretty much the time of impact. But like we would have noticed early on, we definitely would have had some rain, and we had some gust of wind early on, which we were told that it probably would have been the leading end of the system. But the brunt of the system, or if you want to call it the eye of the system, should affect us between 2 and 5 this afternoon.
So we're getting some footage coming in from Carriacou and other parts of Grenada that's showing high gusts. Could you verify that some parts of the island are going through the system at the moment? Because where you are, it doesn't seem like anything is happening.
No, nothing really has happened here in any way at all, I must say. Yes, indeed, reports did came in, and reports are coming in of some minor slides and minor falling of trees, especially in the agriculture sector, banana plants, and in some instances, I personally would have noticed some of those construction sites, those barricades they would have put up, those galvanized barricades they would have put up. Some of them fell down. Yes, indeed, we did had quite a gush of wind. Like I said, not consistently gushing, but there were some gusts of wind earlier along with rain. But that in this area would have subsided significantly. But as you said, there are reports, and we are aware of reports of some um, small incidents, falling of trees, like I said, in some of the other districts.
Right, right. Have you heard anything about St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Anything from Trinidad? We heard that the storm moved towards that direction that would hit like the northern coast of
Well,
Venezuela. Are you hearing anything from those countries, those islands?
just before I came on, I was privy to some information coming out of Trinidad, and Trinidad would have reported some small incidents as well. For example, some rooftops would have came off on some of the bus sheds, and there was some minor damages to roadway in terms of slides and stuff like that, but nothing major to speak about. Minor flooding. That is what I would have received from Trinidad, as the system would have been impacting Trinidad.
Right. Chan, what you on the ground? You're listening to the reports on the ground. What are some of the warnings that NAGMA is sending out? What are some of the announcements that are going through the airwaves in Grenada right now?
Well, like would have happened, not only as we are, if you want to say quote unquote, in the system, but like would have been information and word out days in advance is to be alert, prepare yourself for the eventuality of the system. Make sure that you clear your drains, cut all the overhanging. You know, make sure that you store up sufficient water that can last for at least 3 days. Ensure that you are aware of where your nearest shelter is. You know, get ready to evacuate in the event that the need has arrived. And pretty much information was pretty much passed on as we were preparing for the system.
Yes, yes, yes. Again, guys, we're getting all the information from all angles. We posted something on the Ride Along page earlier today to get information as to the folks there, what's happening in their area. We got quite a few videos and also pictures that showing overcast. No major damages at this point. But if there are people, if you are obviously if you are in a position where you're seeing heavy gusts, we want you to update us on what you're seeing in your area. In St. George's right now, as you could see, it looks pretty calm. Pretty calm. That's by the Market Hill area, right, Chan?
Yes, that's right at the bottom of the Market Hill area, looking straight down that Halifax Street, going all the
Right,
way down to the this Esplanade Mall area. That's the area
right,
here. Yeah.
right.
And normally
Chan,
this is a very busy area on a Saturday morning, on a Saturday
yes,
afternoon, and it's kind of very quiet as we speak.
that's the next question I was going to ask you. Like, how are people heeding to all the precautionary measures and promotion to stay inside or stay out? How people heeding to those warnings?
Well, like I said, one of the warning or one of the advice that was given by NADMA is that if it's necessary for you to venture outside, you do so. But if it's not necessary, remain indoors. And like you would have noticed, like we would have noticed, most persons would have remained indoors. Like I also would have noticed, like we would have also noticed that most business places would have closed as well. So I think those warnings went down pretty well with citizens as to staying indoors, with your family, is trying to be safe and protect yourself and your property as much as possible. So those warnings were definitely heeded.
Good, John. I see someone just came in. I was asking about shelters. If you could go over that information again.
Right. So as I said, NADMA would have inspected quite a bit of shelters. I can't remember offhand how many in total, but I know that for this system, because of the COVID situation and because we have to make preparation, or we had to put preparation in place to facilitate possibly COVID cases, we did saw the need to activate or put on hold, not activate. Sorry for using the word activate, but not activate, but put on standby, if I may say, put on standby some 8 to 9 shelters nationwide. So those shelters are shelters that persons would be able to access once the go ahead is given. Once we activate shelters, once the system would have impacted adversely, therefore those shelters would have been activated. But they were not activated because you don't want people to be running to shelters panicking. You see? And bearing in
Yes.
mind the COVID situation where you had to put certain measures in place to deal with that. Hence the reason why just these 8 to 9 shelters were put on standby or are on standby for the event we would have been impacted severely by the system. If I wanted to briefly go through the shelters, we have in St. George's, the St. George's area, we were going to be using, if possible, as I said, if possible, it's not activated, but these are the shelters that were identified to be used. The Montu SDA, the Montu SDA, Convent St. George's, that is in the St. George's area. St. David's, the Wester Hall Secondary School, St. Patrick's, the St. Patrick's Anglican School, St. John's, and the St. Mark's, the St. Rose Secondary School. St. Andrew's, the St. Andrew's Secondary, Carriacou, the Dover Government Leicester Rosary School. And in Petite Martinique, we were going to be using the Petite Martinique RC school. So
Right.
those are um, the 8 to 9 shelters that could be activated once the go ahead is given.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you, Chan, for giving us that information. You're on the ground there in Grenada. Um, we hope, and what we've seen is that a weakening of the system, as it's now about 40 miles per hour winds, but still could provide significant damages in certain areas, and the gust might be higher in certain areas as well. But as we see right there in St. George, is right by the Market Hill. It's calm. Nothing is happening. The folks are saying that they're expecting to see some more movement at about 2 to 5 p.m. around that time, and there are some indication as to some shelters that's on standby. Any other information we need to get out to the general public, and of course for the viewers that's watching abroad who are very concerned about the family members in Grenada and their own properties in Grenada. Any word you want to give out to them? Uh,
Well,
Go ahead.
what I would like to say is that the system, as it is now, it's pretty much a weakened tropical storm. I would want to believe that most of the weather would have passed us by, but we are still preparing for flash floods, some occasionally gusty winds. Um, I think pretty much the nation as a whole has stood up pretty well to what would have came through our way thus far. And like you would have noticed, we are quite prepared and ready to deal with whatever is behind to come our way.
Right. What about there's also news of another system right behind Gonzalo. Is Nagma paying attention to that and briefing everyone as to what's coming after?
Well, what I know definitely NADMA is paying attention to the system that is behind and are going to be putting on some briefing as soon as we would have as soon as we would have seen the passage of this system. We are continuously monitoring the system behind. As it get closer, definitely information would be put out, and the nation would be alerted as to what is happening with this system that is behind.
Right. Just to update Chan, folks are saying that what they saw this morning with the gust, that was the storm itself that passed through earlier today. Could we confirm or verify if that information is right? Because some folks are thinking that that's the worst or has already passed.
Well,
Any
you
information?
see, Junior, when you're looking at a system of different dimensions to it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
there's something you call the leading end of the system, the eye of the system, and the back end of the system. I persons may want to believe yes, and they might be rightfully so correct with the leading end or the front of the system would have passed us already, and we may have had the worst of it. We don't know what may come after, but we are expecting the brunt of the system, or maybe the eye of the system. Probably you can see the eye of the system to be with us between 2 and 5. Systems is events that you cannot predict accurately because like I always say, they have a mind of their own. They can change. This system was heading for a category 1 hurricane, right? And then all of a sudden it changed. This system had different turns. At one time it headed in one direction, the next time it headed in another direction. So you can't tell. This is just what it is. It's just nature. And if persons would have experienced the worst of it, well, based on your location as well, what may happen to you in that part of the island may not happen to me in this part of the island. So anyhow you look at it, they might be correct.
Right, right, right. But right in St. George right now, as you see, it's calm. It's very calm. In fact, it looks almost surreal, a bit too calm. Not a breeze blowing. You know, it's so that's what it looks like right now in St. George's as folks prepare for the other side, or if what might be the front side for some people. but the brunt of it has moved to the north. It seems as it would impact part of Tobago or impacting parts of Tobago as we speak. We did get some footage on that as well. And the storm is moving at about 18 miles per hour. Wind gusts up to 40 in some areas. It might be more. If you are getting higher, if you are seeing anything different than what we're saying here, I would ask if you could just inbox us some information so we could get that information out to the general public, folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well, folks in Grenada, the northern northeast of Venezuela. If you guys are seeing anything different that we're not saying here, please inbox us and update everyone as to what you're seeing on your end. But as far as what it looks right now in St. George's, Grenada, the heart of tongue, it looks extremely calm, no damages, and this is live footage right now by the Market Hill area. If you guys know where that is, that's like in the center of the tongue. A lot of people are staying home. People are staying home and adhering to the warning that are being put out there. It's like a ghost town, Chan.
Yes, it is. It is very, very still, extremely still. I mean, there's hardly people moving around. There's hardly vehicle moving as well. As I said, businesses, most, if not all of the businesses are closed. And like I said, persons pretty much would have stayed at home today.
Yeah, yeah. Again, guys, if you're seeing anything different than what we're saying, just hit us up, inbox us, and give us some information. Chan, anything else you want to leave with to ensure that the people um, adhere and be safe? Anything you want to leave with?
Well, like I said, just stay tuned to your local media. Try your best to follow the guidance of NADMA. Always remember that the official source of information as related to hurricane and any natural disaster it comes from NADMA. And please stay tuned and be safe. And Junior, I must say thank you very much for giving the opportunity to provide you this report, this information to um, the person at large, both locally and internationally.
Absolutely. And if there's anything else that you're seeing, feel free to chime back in so we could go back on with a live to update everyone around the world.
Definitely, I would. If
All right.
things deteriorate any further, I would certainly be with you. So thank you very much,
Okay.
Junior.
All right. No problem. We'll talk.
God bless.